Okay, guys, so today I will be explaining a few things that a lot of people don't know is that I have something that is very rare. It's not very common at all. And it's not fun when it's
Do you
not
want Anthony to be our fourth?
common. Because
You guys want Anthony to be our fourth?
not a lot of people have this syndrome. And
Enable flash selected.
when they do, it's, there's a lot of complications representing this
Sit up here.
rare,
You sit on my bed.
okay, hang on, rare syndrome. So, it is called Frazier syndrome. You might be thinking, what the hell is Frazier? Well, this is why it has to be explained. And it needs to be discussed. So, CJ, can you help me grab my charger? In here? See? Um, anyways, so what I have is called, so I'm probably have it too close to me. This syndrome is called Frazier syndrome. This is going to be a way for me to explain it better, since I could not explain it over the phone. And there's another thing included to Frazier. It's called cryptotamus. It's an eye problem. Hang on a minute. Tamus is, well, I don't even know if I'm saying it right, but it's another form along with Frazier syndrome. So, so when it comes to Frazier, there's a lot of things that can cause Frazier. And what I could do is I could tell you the things that I do know and get off here, pause, and then look up like more information on Frazier. But I could tell you some stories on younger kids that I know that have Frazier and what the more new like um like what their causes are in Frazier. So the things that I know that are in Frazier are webbed hands and feet, and I have both of them. And I had my left hand webbed, and the result of the surgery separated all 4 fingers. So you could see how my fingers are separated, all 4 of them. I had both of them done. Hang on a second.
I read what it said.
Hang on a second. Oh, it's not gonna tell me. I was
Disable flash selected.
talking to
Enable flash
my
selected.
friend, and I guess the flash died out. Anyways, webbed fingers is one of the things in Frazier. I had that, and then, okay, the eye part, it's easier to explain on here. Some people have, no vision, either your right eye or your left. I have no vision in the left eye. Here, I don't. With my right eye, this is where I can explain the fused eyelids, because it is common in the most Frazier syndrome kids. Kids like me, I can't blink. Christian, I want to ask you, I know you have ROP. Can you, I'm not asking this to be crazy, but can you blink like any other kids? I just want to know for your sake, because I know kids with Frazier, like me, I can't, so I can't even close my eyes on my own when I go to sleep. I actually almost gave one of my friends a heart attack one year because they saw me sleeping with my eyes open. And I'm like, well, why are you looking at me then? You know? And they really thought I was still awake. I'm like, no, why would I? So, that is one part of it I can't, you know. So, the fused eyelids, what I mean by that is my upper eyelid, that was made. I was not born with an eyelid when I was young. So they did surgery on that upper part of my eye. You probably won't be able to tell. And then, um, every time I put eye drops in my eye, it drips or it leaks. This part down here is droopy. Droopy means it's just like downward. It's not up like you would think it is. So, in that case, if anyone's typing, no, okay. And then in that case, they're gonna do surgery down here to raise this part of my eyelid up a little to see if that'll prevent eye drops from leaking and stuff. I have to have eye ointment in every 4 hours each day, to keep my eye moist and stuff and not dried out and get infected. I'm prone to eye infections, which that has always been a struggle in my life because anytime I'd have one, I'd be in a hospital for a few days. I'm trying to think like what else is there in Frazier. I know the webbed hand and feet, fused eyelids. Now, there are a lot of different formations in Frazier. I read that some kids are left with only one kidney. They can either have problems like that or I had surgery on my neck down here. And that was because I had a hole down here in my neck, like towards my throat area, and I had to get a trach tube put in when I was about 2, maybe, and then when I turned about, let's say 8, I got in surgery to close this area up, and
Where'd you go?
at first I was scared, and then my mom was like, well, you know, you could look like me, you know, she'd have me do this to her, just to feel how hers is and everybody else's.
I don't know.
And I was really scared. I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna do it. I'm afraid of anesthesia. I'm still afraid of, you know, needles and anesthetic. I don't like surgery. So, after I was convinced on what it would be like afterwards, I said okay. And I had surgery down here to close this area, fix this area, to make it look normal. Trying to think what else. I've had multiple eye surgeries. You know, it all affects other people. Frazier syndrome, it just causes many different problems. But it all affects different people. Everybody has different problems. I'm trying to think what else is involved in Frazier syndrome. I'll be back. I'm gonna look at it. Carpal tunnel 1, and I'm actually gonna get off of here again just to look at other information. Because you did say something else, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna throw that in there. Even though the second half is part of Frazier. But I don't wanna gross everybody out and be like, oh, that's part of your Frazier. I don't have that problem. Like I said, many different things can affect other people with Frazier. So I'll be back again. Discussing earlier how I was saying that Kirsty has Crypto Thomas. That's where the I would think my left eye don't is not. Let me look at the information again. I'm not even gonna worry about Crypto Thomas because I'm not even sure if I even have it. But I guess it's where they said like that, like where your eyes are, like your eyelids are not like separated, which you can blink and stuff. I'll have to ask Kirsty more information on Crypto Thomas and her Frazier syndrome because she has it. I don't even know if I do. That's one thing I don't know. So, we'll leave Crypto Thomas out of the situation. Um, but I don't know.
Probably
I
Olivia
mean,
Moment.
a lot of kids are different with Frazier. Sometimes a lot of babies, when they're born with it, they don't make it. Sometimes it's too fatal for the infants to survive. That's why, like, when I was born, I was told 6 months, but I proved everyone wrong. I'm still here today. Isn't that amazing?
Crack.
I just wish I can go back and just yell at everybody that said I'd had 6 months to live. That is wrong. Everyone out there that did help me throughout the time I was in your hospital, I can't believe from all the work everybody has done to keep me around. And, I never thought I'd have friends that have the same thing, the same syndrome. It's amazing. It really, truly is amazing because I could not believe the amount of people on the Facebook group that we have. 69 people have Frazier syndrome. 69. That's how rare this syndrome is. It's rare. It's really sad to say because not a lot of people are different. Like I said, a lot of people are different with Frazier. There was one girl that I read on. She had 2 kids that had Frazier syndrome, and they both died like recently due to complications of Frazier. And I would think like breathing wise, because it did say that sometimes breathing problems could contribute to the Frazier syndrome. So I'm guessing like maybe how like yeah, it's all different in a lot of people. And it's really sad that not very many people survive this thing. It's disappointing. But, doctors try their best. And not a lot of doctors know this
But we should go get in on that
thing.
right now.
That's why a lot of a lot of the stories that I read on Facebook, a lot of women have to go get genetic testing done by a geneticist. Geneticist is someone who specializes with rare syndromes. I had one who stayed with us practically the whole time. I guess she was the one that diagnosed me with Frazier.
It's down here, bro.
I guess they found out
There.
like a few days later. Like nobody knew in Christ knew what Frazier was. Nobody had no idea what it was. Nobody knew what was wrong with me, and it's just sad to say the least.
Zero watching now. 21 minutes 50.
Wow.
Yeah, come on. Shoot to the top.
But yes, I did read other stories where one girl named Eloise, she had dental problems. I guess she had like no roots at the top of her mouth, like her teeth growing in. They were crooked, and a lot of, dentists were, the dentists were like shocked. They've never seen something like what she had. They sent her out to a hospital, to somebody that would do corrective surgery. So sometimes, yeah, there's a lot of problems in Frazier.
There's one down here too.
There is one little boy that I do talk to not often. His name is Riley. He's from
Whatever happens to that
Australia,
snapper that can shoot through walls.
and he has had all the symptoms in Frazier
No, the snapper
syndrome.
that was supposed to come out.
But the one
No.
thing is his speech is like
The
messed
snapper
up
that can
sort
shoot
of,
through walls. It
because
was
the
supposed to
way
come out
he
funny,
talks,
and
he's
this
got the
never happened.
mentality of a 1-year-old, and he can't
Yes, there
fully
was.
speak
I could put
full
that on everything.
sentences.
It was on the
So they're
like, what's
getting
new.
him
Yes, I
tested
swear
for
to God.
autism,
It said new
which is
powerful
sad
snapper that can
because
shoot through
it's
walls.
hard on a little
It said that
boy
can penetrate
to go
walls.
through stuff. And he's got some other problems too that he's
No, I'm not. I know what a
gonna
thermal
need
scope is.
something
But I've seen a different
in a
one.
few years.
Look it up.
Which I'm not gonna, describe everything that he's got because,
It did. It was on the what's new. That's why I know about it.
But there
It's
are
like
some
coming
other
soon.
things like that in
New
Frazier.
high-power sniper rifle that can penetrate through walls. No, I don't. Where's the...
I don't know how else to explain Frazier
Come on.
syndrome for you guys. If you read up on it, listen to other people's stories on Frazier, you'll understand it better.
Like a week ago?
Trust me, you'll understand it much better. And I know my friend Kirsty, she has had a lot of friends that have been discriminated for jobs because of her disability. Don't ever think you can't go to work because of your disability. That's pretty sad what people do to you. Kirsty, if you're out here, you're watching, tell your friends, watch this. They can't be discriminated like that. That's against the law. They can't say, oh, we can't work here because of your visual impairment or Frazier. That is so stupid. Don't ever fall for what they say. Do what you want to do. Do not listen to other people. Do not fall for their stupid answers and jokes and stories.
No, actually, no. What
because what they're doing to you is they're putting you on a spot. They're trying to see if you're eligible to work. And if you have to give them some false hope, yes, you don't want to, but if there's something that you have to say that may push them to the edge, say it. I could see that they're trying to find people that would be on task every day and work and not being able to have trouble reading stuff. They want to make sure that person knows what he's doing. I could see what they're talking about, but don't go, discriminating other people saying they can't work all because of their disability. I always thought that too. It's like, oh, I may never work in a third hospital. Well, I'm leading up to that. I'm trying to work at hospitals to, lead up to the situation. But, hey, you gotta go through hell just to get your dream come true. yeah, that's all I have for you guys today for my Frazier story. But if we're looking to Crypto Thomas, I will get back to you on that because I wouldn't even know if I have it. But yeah, I hope this was helpful because I'm gonna still explain like my left eye. So
I got the chest on
my left eye, I have extra skin over. I can't see out of my left eye.
Are you carrying anything?
I want to see if I could get my left eye open.
You have minis or
as I got
bandages or-
older, I started to realize like why do I have one eye?
What
you
heels
know,
do you have?
I want to be a normal kid and have two eyes. You know, and
Yep. Alright,
I got the
matrix.
CT scan done and stuff.
I'll carry the shield.
And I can't wait to get the results back.
I don't need that.
Oh, because once I get the results back, in July 26th, I'm hoping to get good prognosis that we can go ahead and open up this left eye and see if it's a working eye, but they're pretty confident that it's not a working eye, sadly. So it doesn't matter if it's a working eye or not, as long as I can be a normal, 18-year-old, because like I want to be able to go out with friends, go trick-or-treating like a normal adult with friends that are a little bit younger, but hey, spend time on their birthday. I know a lot of people are like, no, don't change the way you look. You're
another big shield.
you're who you are, and I feel bad when people say that because I'm like, well then, it's sad because if I stay the way I am, then I'm always gonna be stared at. But people don't understand is that I'm getting tired of how people just stare at one another.
Come on.
You ever hear the phrase from Audie from the story Wonder when he says, normal kids don't run away from screaming at ordinary kids, but when you have special needs, they run away and they give you dirty looks and take off running. Or I forgot what he said.
Go to the right. Come on.
Yes, he is a normal kid. He's just got some disability too. I forgot what it was. And I think it's rare because I've never heard of anyone else having it. And he goes through the same thing as that we're going through. It's really sad what people think of us.
And that just gave me max wood.
It's normally a lot of younger kids that stare and say stuff because it drives me nuts. And I can't,
1:20 a.m.
handle it. I know those kids are curious and they're wondering what's going on, but to us it hurts because it makes us look bad, and we're like, why do we have to be asked what's wrong with our facial problems? And you know what? I am proud to say that I do have Frazier syndrome because I never thought anyone would ever find out. I know I haven't made videos in a while. It's not that I don't want to show myself, it's just, I have so much going on. I was back in March leading up to April, and then school, I was getting done with school. I was doing live streams, but I just deleted them after live stream. But a few of my friends on here are correct about, just still show yourself. I love showing myself because, it gives you something to look at instead of a black screen.
No, but hit your shots. You
occasionally, I'm gonna try not to do that. But if I'm live streaming, it'll just be pitch black and nothing in the background. Yeah, like I said, Frazier is really hard to explain. So I hope I explained it enough to where you understand it. So yeah, like I said, with my left eye, I'm hoping to get this left eye open. I'm not sure how they're gonna do that, but I'm hoping it comes out to be a good prognosis.
No,
And
we're
once
gonna
they
get
do
one.
it and they know it's not a working eye,
Having awards
I'm
on
gonna
the
get
biggest-
prosthetic. So I'll probably look a lot different in the
What up?
later videos. I know some of my friends are gonna be mad and be like, "Oh, I
Yeah,
told
it's
you
okay.
not to
I'm
change
shaking.
the way you are." Well, they're gonna forget about it and move on and be like, "Wow,
Let's go.
you look so cool, this and that, whatever, thanks." And hopefully that'll
We're
reduce
gonna get this mountain first.
staring problems because it really gets me. And sometimes I just say there's nothing I could do, just don't worry about them.
Yeah.
And there's times where I worry about it, you know? You know, when kids are getting stared at with disabilities, sometimes you just need to let it go and just walk away like I do. Or, if it's really that bothering you, say something.
Yeah, Chroma.
That's what I want to do. But I can't. I know if I speak up and run my mouth at someone, they'd probably get me in trouble. But who cares? They could try. I hope this helped you.